Good morning, Philip. Time for an oil change. Remember last time?
I'd rather not.
Took 3 hours. You forgot little Henry's video game. You're not as entertaining as a video game, Philip.
Silence your oil change anxiety at Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Get an expert oil change in about 15 minutes with no appointment needed.
Thanks for coming in.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
Hello and welcome to the qualifying order reveal show for the GTR Motorsports Daytona 250, the official kickoff for Season 7 of the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series, presented by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. My name is Jordy Caraher, and I'm happy to be taking you through the proceedings here this evening. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it here. And so we've got a field of 30 drivers within Season 7, and you're seeing a wheel courtesy of pickerwheel.com. That's got every driver's name on it, and what we're determining tonight is the order that the drivers are going to come out for single lap qualifying on Monday, April 27th. And that could determine the front row here for our season opening GTR Motorsports Daytona 250, which will take place Monday, May 4th. But for those who don't make it to the front row, they'll be in the duels, which will follow this qualifying session here on Monday night. So how that'll break down, the drivers who finish in the odd number slots in that qualifying session, they'll fall into duel number 1. And from there, the drivers who finish in the even number slots in the qualifying session, they'll be in duel number 2. And how they finish those races will ultimately determine the starting grid for the GTR Motorsports Daytona 250. So, without further ado, we see 30 names on our wheel. Let's go ahead and tick them off one by one. Without further ado, let's go ahead and spin the wheel for the first time. And here we go. This is being spun in real time, folks. And who's going to get the honor of coming out first? It sure looks like a former GTR Daytona 250 winner in the form of the number 60 of Justin Belmonte. And he comes from East Patchogue, New York, and he's in his 4th season. I actually had that incorrect on my spotter board, but this will be season 4 for Justin Belmonte. Season 4 was actually when he made his debut. And as mentioned, he won his debut at Daytona, also won at Auto Club the following week. So got off to an absolute dream start back in season 4. Finished 5th in season 6. He's got 5 career victories, and again, Daytona was his first. So we'll see if he can become the first 2-time winner of the 250, as we'll go ahead and take Belmonte off the board. And who's going to follow him out of pit lane here? We'll go ahead and spin again. And it's slowing down. And look at that. The former GTR 250 winners continue here as we get our first of our 3 former series champions as well, in the form of the number 97 of Ty Higginbotham out of Kansas City, Missouri. 6th season for Higginbotham, finished in 6th place last season. He's got 10 wins to his name in his Tornado Alley Racing Toyota. Should mention, of course, that Justin Belmonte is driving for Warrior Racing in his Ford with sponsorship from Warrior Wraps. Whereas for Ty Higginbotham, as we'll bring it back to our number 97, he's got sponsorship from Nordic Aluminum. So that's 2 on the board. Let's go ahead and figure out who's going to be number 3. Spin again. And we're slowing down, and it looks like we've got our first rookie in the series. That'll be the number 62 of Colby Luca out of Hartford, Vermont, and his Chevy will be sponsored by the U.S. Army and W Energy. So let's go ahead and get the number 62 on the board. And we'll subsequently go ahead and take him off the wheel as we move on to spin number 4. Who's coming out next? Wheel slowing down. And we come on to a former GTR 250 pole sitter, that being the number 7 of Andy Hurdle out of Dayton, Ohio, driving for 519E Racing in his Ford. 1 career win, of course, that was at Charlotte a couple years back. Season 6, he squeaked into the playoffs, ultimately finishing 12th in the overall standings. But Hurdle, certainly a seasoned veteran of the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series. We'll see what he does from his particular spot in the order. And we'll go ahead and take him off the board now. Leaves us with 26 drivers still to go. And here's spin number 5. And it's slowing down, and we head to the West Coast where we find the number 16 of Ryan O'Toole out of Portland, Oregon, entering his 3rd season in his Chevy. Usually you'll see it with Oregon Ducks branding of some form, SCO Ducks. And last season he finished 26th in the series, so we'll see if O'Toole is able to take a step forward in his 3rd season within the Canadian Motorsports Network. As we'll go ahead and take O'Toole off the board. That leaves us with 25. So, this spin will determine who's going to come out 6th. And the wheel's slowing down here. One more time, and where's it going to land? It teased us for a second, but instead we go to second-year driver Mario Ercolani out of Parsonsfield, Maine, driving for GTR Motorsports in his Toyota, with sponsorship from RaceEPI.com. Ercolani had a solid rookie season, ultimately finishing 18th, but his biggest moment was finishing as the runner-up in the in-season tournament that we had last year, and spoiler alert, that's coming back. We'll have some details for you here in the not-too-distant future. And so we'll go ahead and take Ercolani off the board. That's 20% of the field determined now. It was going to come out in lucky spot number 7. Wheel slowing down gradually. And it's going to stop on another one of our rookies in the form of the 08 of Knox Thompson. He comes to us from Conway, Arkansas, and he'll be driving for K-Tan Racing with sponsorship on his livery from Sprite Chill Cherry Lime. And spoiler alert, folks, that's not the first time you're going to hear that K-Tan Racing name here tonight. But we'll progress through the order and we'll come back to it whenever that happens to come up, as we'll take Thompson off the wheel, leaving us with 23 still to go. Who's going to come out in spot number 8? Let's find out. And I'm watching with the same anticipation as you are right now. And it turns out I didn't have to wait very long to talk about the K-Tan Racing connection, because here's the other half of it. We head to Chicago, Illinois, where we find the number 22 of Anthony Schauer. And yeah, sponsorship on his livery will be from Party City this season. So the two K-Tan Racing drivers, they'll go back-to-back early in the qualifying session. So we'll go ahead and take Schauer off the wheel, leaving us with 22 drivers now. Here comes another spin. We'll figure out who's going to come out 9th. And the wheel's starting to slow down again. And oh boy, we have one of our OGs here. The number 12 of Mike Marini, driving his Toyota out of Thunder Bay, Ontario. A guy who's come close at Daytona a couple of times, most notably back in Season 1. Very nearly won the inaugural edition of the 250 at Daytona. Certainly, you know, a crown jewel and a certain feather in the cap for Marini. 2 wins in his career, both on road courses, both at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, if memory serves. If that's wrong right off the top of my head, I'll correct that. I think it is both Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, back when we were the Canadian E-Motorsports Network. But of course, we've broadened our horizons a little bit, and the number 12 has stuck with us from the beginning. We're looking forward to seeing what he's got this year, having just missed out on the playoffs last season, finishing 14th. So that's 9 down, 21 to go here, as we'll round out our first 10 drivers. And the wheel slows down. And we stay in Canada for the meantime, as we go to Calgary, Alberta for the number 25 of Matt McDonald. in his second season within the, I was about to say Canadian E-Motorsports Network. Certainly the last couple drivers would suggest it's Canadian, but it is the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series. McDonald wound up tied for 19th last season, missed a few races in the regular season, might have had a little bit better shot at the playoffs overall, but certainly the 25 had his moments, and we'll see if his Fastenal sponsored livery is able to bring it into the playoff picture in Season 7. All right, folks, we are a third of the way through here now. 10 drivers in place, 20 to go. How about we spin again? Starting to slow down once more. And it's going to land on number 15 of Kyle Knoll out of Raleigh, North Carolina, competing into his fourth season in his Storm Surge Esports Toyota. Just missed out on the playoffs last season, ultimately finished 16th. And on top of the Storm Surge sponsorship, he'll also be featuring sponsorship from Cheerwine and Race Lab. So let's go ahead and add the 15 to our board. Clocking in the number 11 spot, just making sure that I have my tracker fully correct here. That would obviously be embarrassing if I didn't, because then we would maybe have to restart this whole thing if I had it wrong. But instead, we're all good. 11 down, 19 to go. Let's find out who's going to come out 12. And the wheel's starting to slow down a little bit. And oh boy, I am looking forward to this guy coming back. So this is another one of our OGs, folks, for those who might be unaware. The number 6 is Lee Campbell out of Ballston Spa, New York. Competing in his third season overall, but his other 2 seasons were back in the NASCAR Heat era. So this is his iRacing debut with us. And I am pumped to see Lee Campbell back. Obviously one of the good guys. We're happy to welcome him back, with sponsorship from Exide Batteries and Castrol Edge on his number 6 Ford for this season. Welcome back, Lee, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you've got here on the iRacing side of things. So, Lee Campbell off the board in the 12th spot. That leaves 18 to go. Let's not waste any more time. Let's spin again. And our wheel's slowing down. And it's going to land on a former Championship 4 participant in the form of Charlie Sears in the number 32 499 Racing Chevy out of Charlottesville, Virginia. As mentioned, former Championship 4 competitor back in Season 5. 1 win in that season over at the Autodromo di Monza in Italy. But a little bit of a struggle last season, and I would suggest he'd probably agree, ultimately finishing 22nd in the standings. The 32 undoubtedly looking to bounce back here, and we'll see if Daytona provides the suitable launching point for him. And we will take Sears off the board, rapidly approaching halfway here. 13 down, 17 to go. Let's not waste any more time. Let's spin again. And our wheel's going to slow down. And it's going to land on another one of our rookies. And it's going to look weird seeing the 64 attached to a different driver not named Darcy Ford. But this year, we head to Owensboro, Kentucky, for the number 64 of Jeremy Crow. And his Chevy will be featuring Cheetos sponsorship on it. Cheetos Flamin' Hot specifically, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll go ahead and add Crow to our board. We'll see if his performance winds up leaving the rest of the field eating crow, but certainly this would be a fantastic launching point for any of our rookies in the field. And so, 14 down, we're going to find out who's going 15th right about now. And the wheel's slowing down. And we are headed to Cheeseland now, specifically Appleton, Wisconsin, for the number 93 of Tom Janikowski in his 5th season within the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series, driving in his Big T Motorsports Chevy. And last season, again, just missed out on the playoff picture, had his fair share of solid runs, ultimately wound up 15th by the end of it, and we'll see if Janikowski is able to break through this season. And we'll go ahead and take Janikowski off the board. That leaves 15 drivers here. We are officially halfway. So that seems like a good time for me to take a quick sip of water, maybe catch my breath for a minute, and we'll be back for the second half of our draw in about 30 seconds. But first, a word from our friends and title sponsors at Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Hello, Candace.
Not you again.
Me again. Remember our last oil change? Your boyfriend said he knew a guy who knew a guy. None of those guys knew what they were doing, including you, Todd.
Silence your oil change anxiety at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, where you can watch our experts change your oil right from your car.
Thanks for coming in.
And finish in about 15 minutes. Valvoline. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
All right, thanks again to our friends at Valvoline Instant Oil Change for being the title sponsor for Season 7 of the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series. And let's not waste any more time. We are at the halfway point now in our draw. Let's go ahead and begin the second half. Who's coming out 16th? Still a lot of heavy hitters to go here in this qualifying order reveal, and we'll actually go to a former Daytona pole sitter. A bit of a caveat with that, though. It was a night race in which the number 10 of Jason Butler, driving for 519 Racing out of London, Ontario, wound up with a pole. But Butler's another one of our OGs, so let's look into him a little bit more. Finished 24th in last season's NASCAR Series. Missed a few races along the way, but whenever he's been in the field, Butler's certainly made his presence felt, and we'll see if the 519 Racing outfit's able to take a step forward here in Season 7 with sponsorship from Voodoo Burgers and Side Launch Brewing Company. So let's go ahead and take Butler off the board. Off the wheel, I suppose. 14 still to go, and still a lot of heavy hitters still to go if you're taking a look. And we'll see who's gonna slot into 17th here. And oh boy, this is a name I've been looking forward to for quite a while, ever since I heard he was coming back. This is another one of our OGs. This is the Season 1 Earl Ross Cup champion, the number 23 of Ryan Gibson, out of Morgantown, West Virginia, driving for Blue Collar Racing, and his Chevy will be sponsored by Jean's Beer Garden. Overall, 7 victories for Ryan Gibson, including, of course, that Season 1 championship. His last win was also at Daytona, albeit in the Season 2 night race at the 200 distance rather than the 250. So, Gibby, I am super pumped to have you back. Let's see what you've got. First time back behind the wheel with us since, I believe, Season 4. So, Gibby, he's joining a fantastic outfit there on the Blue Collar Racing side of things. And we'll see where the others slot in momentarily. So, with Gibby off the wheel, that leaves 13 drivers still to go. Suppose I should actually add the 23 into our running tally here, as you see it on the right-hand side. So, let's go ahead and dig into slot number 18. As I said, still a lot of heavy hitters to go. And we're headed to, the Sunshine State, and we're headed to Kissimmee, Florida, specifically for the number 41 GTR Motorsports Ford of Jose Mercado, bringing sponsorship from our title, Valvoline Instant Oil Change. As mentioned, Mercado, very much one of our OGs within the series. This will be Season 7 for him. Overall, 6 career victories. Last ones came in the NASCAR Heat era, but certainly the momentum is built for him over the last season or two. We'll see if the 41 can wind up breaking through this season, and wound up finishing 10th last year, but, certainly had fantastic runs along the way. As we'll go ahead and add him to the board, and subsequently take him off the wheel. So that's 18 down for those watching at home, 12 still to go. And let's not continue with the suspense any longer. Who's going to come out in slot number 19? Excited to see some wheels turning. And next up will be last year's pole sitter, the number 21 Tornado Alley Racing Toyota of Adam Wilson out of Del Mar, Delaware. Third season for him overall. And he has one career victory back at Dover in season 5. And this year he'll bring sponsorship from Budweiser and Mountaire Fresh Young Chicken. Had to make sure I was saying that right. And Wilson, again, he's going to draw into slot number 19, which means 11 drivers still to go. Let's go ahead and spin for driver number 20. And that lands on a rather formidable name in the form of another blue-collar racing driver. This is Jared Ireland out of Eudora, Kansas, entering his 4th season within the NASCAR Series. Former Championship 4 driver back in the day. Certainly capable whenever he's on his game. Last win was at Kansas back in season 5. And that is his 4th win all told. And no direct sponsorship this year for the 13, but he's going to be returning that Boot Hill Distillery livery that we've grown accustomed to, the silver and purple. And of course, teaming with Ryan Gibson this year, that's going to be a formidable duo, but they're not alone either. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as we get closer to that situation. Of course, last time I said that, I landed on the remaining teammate right after. We'll see if that happens again. Slot number 21 on the go. And that's not the case this time, as we wind up with, I believe, the first of our Hyperdrive Esports drivers. We stay in Eudora, Kansas, though, where we find number 4 of Mason Tomlinson. Certainly turned a corner last season when he became part of the Hyperdrive outfit, as he wound up finishing 8th overall in the championship. 3rd season overall now for Tomlinson within the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series, presented by, of course, our friends at Valvoline Instant Oil Change. So we'll see what Tomlinson has to offer on top of winning last year's in-season tournament. Certainly a launch pad for him. And this year he'll bring sponsorship from Napa and Moza Racing on top of being part of the Hyperdrive Esports family. So that's going to take Tomlinson off the wheel. 21 slotted in, 9 still to go. Who's going to take slot number 22? Let's find out. Okay, here we go. Our reigning, defending Earl Ross Cup champion Blake Thronberg, obviously by default Rookie of the Year last season out of Graham, North Carolina. Driving for what might be my favorite team name here, Control Alt Defeat Motorsports. Oh man, the intimidation behind that is fantastic. Fitting for a driver who's going to be operating the number 3 once again this season. And as it was before, it will be a Chevy that Blake Thronberg will be piloting. Again, defending champion from past year. 2 wins last season, including the championship race in Phoenix. And we'll see what Thronberg's got for an encore. So that is now 22 down, 8 still to go. And again, still a lot of heavy hitters on the board. Drawing into spot 23, though. Well, we talked about Thronberg being the defending champion. This is the guy who's got to be the odds-on favorite this year. We stay in North Carolina. We head to Salisbury for the 00 of Jordan Kalinian, who brings his Toyota back to the grid for his 3rd season within the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series. He is the active leader in career wins with 19, and he's done that in 2 seasons. He's just 1 behind Corbin McCauley's all-time mark of 20. And if the pattern continues the way it has over the last 2 seasons, don't be surprised if Kalinian takes the all-time mark relatively quickly. Has been utterly snake bit in the last 2 championship races, if we're going to be completely honest. But we're also pivoting to the 2026 points format as well. So for a guy like Jordan Kalinian, that's got to be music to his ears, as we'll see how he begins his year from slot 23 in GTR Motorsports Daytona 250 qualifying. So that's Kalinian off the wheel. We're left with 7 now. Spot number 24 now set to be filled. And it looks like it's going to be another one of our rookies. We stay in North Carolina. A little bit of a tobacco road trend happening here. This time we head to Moyock, North Carolina, where we find the number 5 of John Williams, driving for Mid-Pack Motorsports in his Chevy with sponsorship from George & Company, Loco Exteriors, and Shady Designs. So we'll see what John Williams has to offer, and we'll see if, it's any kind of a cinematic performance from a rookie like Blake Thronberg offered up last season. So that is 24 off the board. 80% of the way there, folks. 6 to go. Slot number 25 now being determined. And, we talk about guys we love to see coming back. We gotta wait for him, though. The picker decided to slot a little bit forward. And don't adjust your sets, folks. The number 17 is not being piloted by Corbin McCauley for the first time in series history. Instead, it'll go to Bryce Fontaine out of Cape Coral, Florida, headed into his 3rd season within the E-Motorsports NASCAR Series. 1 win in his career, and that was at Montreal last season. And he'll be bringing his Hyperdrive Esports Toyota back to the grid with sponsorship from, let's go ahead and find them on my board, Precision Speed Solutions, Pay RVA, and JZM Custom Tile Works. All right. Fontaine off the board. 5 still to go. Slot number 26 in the offering right about now. And the wheel is starting to slow down. Names ticking away. And this is the guy I thought we were going to get last time, and another guy I am super happy to see back. This is the number 18 of Mike Nickens out of St. Augustine, Florida. 2nd season within the E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series. His last one was season 3 back in the final NASCAR Heat season. 2 wins that year, got into the championship 4. We'll see if Nickens is able to make the transition, and his Toyota is going to have sponsorship from US Navy and Logitech. So great to see Mike Nickens back in the picture with us. Always a long-term part of the family. Great guy to chat with a few years back. Happy to see him back on the grid. And so that leaves us with our final 4, folks. Spot 27 now in the offering. And it'll land on a guy who's into his 5th season with us here now, the number 8 of Scott Bailey out of Allendale, Michigan. The final of our blue-collar racing drivers this year, also driving a Chevy, so that's a formidable unit. I had to find the word. Bailey, Gibson, and Ireland teaming up, and certainly a lot of experience. A couple of championships within that family as well. Scott Bailey, of course, the Season 4 Earl Ross Cup champion, the first in the iRacing era. And he's 2nd all-time in terms of career wins within the series among active drivers with 13. And we'll see what Scotty's got in the offering this year after being the runner-up on points last season. Nearly wound up becoming our first 2-time champion, just couldn't quite get the job done in Phoenix in that championship race. And so with Bailey off the board, that leaves us with 3. Let's find out who's going to come out in 28th. A couple of veteran names and a rookie still on the board. And it's going to go to our reigning GTR Motorsports Daytona 250 winner. That is the final Hyperdrive Esports entry as well. The number 31 Toyota of Will Kern out of Dansville, New York. And as I mentioned, his 1 win in the series was this very race a year ago. So we'll see what Kern has in store for an encore. Wound up finishing 25th in the standings in terms of an overall classification. Wound up kind of falling off the map there in the second half of the year, but wound up starting with a bang. we'll see what the 31's able to do this time around. And so that leaves us with our final two. Who's going to be spot 29, then spot 30. Obviously that'll be a formality here, but we got a 50-50 shot either way. And it's going to go to the number 1 of C.D. Mangrum in his 5th season with us here out of Atlanta, Georgia. And Mangrum, is another Tornado Alley racing driver. And in terms of career stats, finished 9th last season, a little bit snake bit in around a 10 a year ago. 8 career victories, sponsorship from Nordic Aluminum. And I should mention Will Kern's sponsorship this year, Pride and Trust Painting and Red Jacket. Apologies for neglecting that before. And while we're here, no, we won't do that. We will formalize it with our final spin. Not a whole lot of mystery as to who's going to be our final driver. And yeah, while there's no guesswork, it is our final rookie in the field this year, and it'll be the number 42 of Tyler Fitzsimmons, driving out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And he'll be piloting the number 42 Ford, so we'll see how Fitzsimmons is able to fare, but there's our full order finalized, folks. And as a reminder, the qualifying session will be happening on Monday, April 27th, and we'll have the 2 duels right after that, and you'll be able to watch those on YouTube on our E-Motorsports Network channel, of course. You know, a bit of a mea culpa in regards to not having the clash there a week ago, but we should be on track here moving forward, fingers crossed, and we hope you've enjoyed watching this particular qualifying order reveal show, as the rubber's really going to hit the road starting on Monday night. So for all of our sponsors, our competition committee, my name's Jordy Caraher. We thank you for watching, and we hope you lock in with us as Season 7's just around the bend.